Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode. In today's episode we're finally going to be diving into Draconic Evolution. Yes, I am aware that I have the Wyvern Sword and the Wyvern Bow in my inventory. That means we are definitely getting into that today. But as you remember, when I was building my fusion reactor, which is currently spinning the turbine over there, I did say that I already went into the end, and I did fight the Ender Dragon. So I'm going to put some footage of that fight, as well as our first time going into the end and some of the rewards, and some of the things that we did afterwards, because it's going to be very relevant for what we are going to be talking about and interacting with today. So I shall be back when that is done. Oh, that's cool. I did not expect this. The end is also filled with water. That's kinda cool. Okay, let's fly over to where the Ender Dragon is. Actually, wait one sec. I forgot that I should probably place down the end painting over here first. Well, the overworld painting in the end, so let's do this quickly. Hopefully he doesn't attack us. Alright, there we go, so that way we can get back to the overworld. Alright, so the cool thing about being, having this entire unit is once I put on the right the right mode, we can fly and break these things. Ooh, be careful of those. They can still hurt you, like the explosions or what he actually shoots at you, but that shouldn't be too big of a problem to deal with, because it's relatively easy to dodge that. Oop, misfire shot. There we go. So, as you would have seen in the footage there, we have access to draconium ingots through this access of this draconium essence, which is currently going to this crafter. Now, I have a few of these set up right here, but one thing that I would actually like to go through is why and how you actually could utilize this crafter. So one of the ways that you can actually utilize this crafter is to actually get yourself all the way, craft these various essences all the way up to Supremium Essence. And it's relatively simple, really. So I know mine is, basically done, but essentially when you get your crafter, it will have no recipes here, and this entire buffer or input here is going to be completely empty. So I would think it's pertinent to actually go through this explanation, so bear with me while I do so before we go into more content for today. The first thing that I would suggest you do, let's search up Prudentium. So the first thing that you'll actually like to do is teach the crafters how to make each of these steps utilizing the standard crystal, which has a limited amount of uses. And you're going to do that all the way until supremium. For your settings, I would suggest, or for the all with the exception of supremium, you have it like this, where it's utilizing all the input slots. It's going to be configured with internal over here, and basically it. One thing to note, if you say you use the JEI and click move items, it'll actually properly appear here. The Prudentium essence will properly appear in this box, as well as when you click apply, it'll properly save the Prudentium essence as a recipe instead of just saying no recipe. When I had manually placed everything here, it was not appearing as a proper recipe, it was just literally appearing as no recipe. So that's one thing to note if you're actually utilizing these crafters to get yourself the Supremium essence. Now, once you've done that with the limited, well, the crystal that uses, you know, only 1,000 uses, I would suggest that you get yourself this Master Infusion crystal. And to get that, it's kind of simple, but it's going to require 4 pieces of Supremium and a Supremium gemstone, which requires 2, so it's going to require 6 pieces of Supremium. So once you've taught your system how to actually craft it all the way up to Supremium, I would suggest manually inputting your Infernium until you get yourself the Supremium. Once you have the 6 pieces of Supremium, then you can craft yourself this Master Infusion crystal, and then change each of these recipes so that way it's utilizing the Master Infusion crystal. Like so. Once that's done, I would suggest that you get at least 1 piece of each of these essence. So that's 1 piece of Infernium, 1 Prudentium, 1 Teritium, 1 Imperium, 1 Supremium, and well, of course, your Master Infusion crystal, and put them into its internal buffer zone, like so. Then you're going to fill the remaining slots with some sort of filler blocks, and you're going to click Remember. And I'll explain why you do this filler section in a little bit. So now that you have your recipes saved for crafting each of these tiers of your essences, and you have your filler blocks basically here blocking and occupying spaces in your crafter, it's only then would I suggest you put an importer and an exporter attaching to your crafter. So as you can see over here, I have my exporter set up to be exporting Infernium essence. So anytime we get Infernium, it's going to be exported into this crafter, and if it has enough Infernium, it'll craft itself a Prudentium. Once it has enough Prudentium, it'll keep on crafting all the way until Supremium. Let me just go over the settings for Supremium, by the way, because you don't want this to actually be remaining inside of your crafter like this. You generally would want it to be inputted into this box over here, this 2x2 box, which is then going to be imported into your system. So for the Supremium, again, similar to the others, you'll have all. The only difference is instead of it being an internal, it's going to be external C, or that's basically the setting, or EXTC, and that means it'll basically utilize the Imperium and the Infusion Crystal, but then put the Infusion Crystal back into your internal buffer here, but send the Supremium out into this 2x2 box, which would then be imported into your system. So why would you want to do this crafter? Well, this way it reduces you having to manually craft the Supremium. You don't even need to teach this into your refined storage system if you did so. You literally just, once you configure this Infernium to be exported into this crafter, it'll basically craft and tear up and all the way up to Supremium once it has enough, and then that Supremium will be deposited into your system. Now, the reason for these filler blocks is because if you don't put these filler blocks in here, and you tell your exporter to export Infernium, it will continue to export Infernium all the way up and max out and fill up basically this entire buffer zone inside this internal storage for the crafter, and you won't have any space to craft either your Prudentium, your Tertium, your Imperium, or even your Supremium. So that's why you must give it a dedicated slot for each of these items here, and then the rest will just be filler blocks to prevent it from overstuffing with these things. Now, that is of particular use because, well, one, you get Supremium relatively quickly. But over here, you can actually see I've actually utilized it to save our usage for diamonds, netherite, iron, obsidian, sulfur dust, and even the draconium ingots. So that's way as soon as we get this Draconic Evolution's draconium essence, as soon as we get draconium essence, it'll be exported into this block here, and then this crafter is going to be responsible for turning that into draconium ingots. So just as an example, let me show you how much draconium ingots we have thus far. Yeah, and I didn't have to craft these things. That essence really helped us out, and well, we're sitting at quite a good bit of draconium ingots. And that's kind of needed for, you know, some of the things that you're going to need in Draconic Evolution. Now, there's another thing that you're actually going to need it to get into Draconic Evolution, but once we reach that, I'll explain. So let's look at what we have over here. So, the first thing that you're actually going to need to get yourself started in Draconic, let's actually switch up at Draconic. Okay, so to get started, you're going to need these draconium infusion crafting injectors. And to get this, it seems relatively simple, but you're going to need this draconium core. And to get this core, oh, you see, we're going to need this draconium ingot. Well, thankfully, we already have a lot of that because of the essence that we have. So this shouldn't be too difficult to craft. You're also going to need this fusion crafting core, and you're only going to need one. And this, relatively simple. Well, the most difficult part is just getting this draconium core, but again, for us at this point, it's relatively easy. Now, you are going to need a good bit of these draconium fusion crafting injectors. For example, if we take a look at our wyvern bow, you see we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different crafters, and I'll explain this tier in a bit. Let's take a look at the sword, shall we? The sword is also 6. What about the chest piece? The chest piece? Okay, that's also 6. But I believe that there are some things, let's see. Okay, so let's take a look, for example, the draconic sword is going to require, well, yes, it's going to require a tier draconic, but it's going to require 8 different crafters. As so, I would suggest you at least craft 8 of these draconium fusion crafting injectors. Now, the tier. To note, when you craft this, so for instance, let's just look, let me see if I have any crafters. Okay, let's just craft 4 for now. So to note, when you craft these things, this is just the base level. It can't really do much. Because if we take a look at our wyvern sword over here again, you see it needs a specific tier. So even if you put these items into your basic version, or the standard one that you can craft right here, it won't be able to do much because it's simply it's a tier too low. So you're going to need to evolve this from this basic version to the wyvern fusion crafting injector. That's the ones that you're seeing over here in this 4x4 layout over here. And to do that, it's actually pretty straightforward. You're going to just put these in a standard draconium tier, which is the base tier version that you're of the fusion crafters that you're going to get. Once you have that, once you have the crafters, that is, you're going to combine that with some diamonds, a wyvern core, draconium core, and a draconium block. Let's see what you need for this wyvern core. Okay, so some draconium ingots, that's easy. Draconium core, easy as well. But this nether star. So, for those of you that don't know, you can get nether stars in a few ways, actually in this mod pack. So one of the ways that you can get that is, of course, by going and killing the widow. Currently, we don't have a widow because we were killing him for a brief period of time. However, given the fact that you're kind of going to need quite a good bit of nether stars, I would think that that you should get yourselves, you know, something a little bit easier that gives you easier access to nether stars. So let's take a look at the nether stars, shall we? Okay, we can craft nether stars. Oh, we're going to need this nether star shard. And how do you get this nether star shard? Oh, you're going to need nether star essence. Okay. And how do you get this? Well, of course, you're going to need the nether star seeds, which you're going to need 4 pieces of insanium, which is, whew, that's a bit costly, but if you have set up the crafters like I showed earlier on, you'll be able to gather yourself a supremium by converting a good bit of that infernum essence that you would have had without you ever having to break a sweat crafting it. So this insanium actually shouldn't be too hard. But you're going to need 4 nether stars. Okay. So this nether star seeds is actually something of wood. Now there's one thing to note. So that, because I'm using this, requires us to kill a wither 4 times. But in reality, you're actually going to need to kill your wither, I believe, 6 times total. Let's remove that. Where is the where's the coxes? Right. You must build this nether star cox. It's kind of crucial and kind of needed in order for you to be able to build, well, to work with these nether star seeds. So that's going to require 2 additional nether stars and 4 more pieces of insanium. This, I kind of basically got this from, you know, basically killing the wither during this period. So you shouldn't have to worry about the nether star, about the withering souls. So let's me actually okay, so you have your list of things that you need to get, and most importantly, you just really need to get this nether star seeds, which in total would require you to get 8 pieces of insanium and 6 nether stars. Now by comparison, if you remember, for the Draconic Evolution, if we wanted to get this wyvern tier, every time we want to upgrade our Draconic Fusion crafting injector, we're going to need a wyvern core, and that would require us having to kill a wither. So you can weigh whichever method that you choose. I personally found that it was a lot easier to just craft the wither star seeds and then get myself the wither star essence, which to then craft that into the wither star shards, and you know, basically work with it as that. In fact, I already have this set up over here. So sorry I don't have footage of me crafting this, but as you can see, it's going right here. Now, below our hydroponic bed, I have the nether star cox, and that's kind of again, that's important because without it, this won't be able to function. Now, I already have the upgrades kind of working in there, so that's why it's kind of, you know, producing quickly. But if we head back out and we go to right here, oh, not this one. Let's go and actually teach our system how to make these nether star shards, like so. So you see, once you add it through the JI, it'll create this little nether star over here, and then once we apply it, it'll save that. Okay. Let's teach it how to make the different shards. Oh, I didn't. Yeah, okay. I forgot. I'm accidentally. Let's make sure that we're on this last one. All right. Okay. So let me. Let me gather the things that we need. So we're going to need some iron essence. Let's gather those things. Let's look into essence. So we're going to need 1 piece of this, 1 diamond, 1 netherite, 1 nether star. We have the netherite there. Draconium. What else do I have? The sulfur essence. I think that's all the essence that I'm actually utilizing in here. Let's check. Oh, obsidian. Do I have? Or is this extracting? Okay, it's not extracting. Let me see. Okay. So that should match up with everything that we have here. So let's go there. Give me that. Let me just line this up outside, so this way I would be able to confirm that I have everything. Okay. So the last thing that I need to get an example of is this. I could have sworn I hit this. Let's make this a shot. Okay, so I'm gonna tell this to forget that. Want this to go there, this to go there, this to go there. I'm gonna take out these two, we're gonna put this and this. And we're gonna click remember. So then we're gonna go down and we're actually gonna configure this. So we have this set to extract. We want this to actually keep the nether star shard actually internal, and this one's going to be extracting. Make sure that's saved. That's saved, okay. So now if I come behind here, let me get the essence, like so. I'm gonna go put that there. And you can see it's building up, turning into the nether star. And once it gets enough, there we go, we have the nether star, and that's completely imported into our system. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you don't actually have another use for this nether star essence. No, it's not, so good. So what it is I can actually do, where do I have my stack upgrades? Aha! Give me this. Let's put this and this. So now it's just going to be, okay, you can see how useful this is. Because we're able to craft quite a good bit of nether stars, skipping through the steps, and well, we're just standing here. So let's see how much nether stars that we have. Oh, I didn't realize I have a stack on me. Let's see. That's not how you spell nether star. Okay, so we have 72 nether stars. So now we can get back to upgrading this to Wyvern tier fusion crafting injectors. Let me go grab the things that we need, and I'll be back. I do have the things that we need in order to upgrade these crafters, but let me go over what's actually going on over here. So floating one block in the air, ironically, we have this fusion crafting core, and this has to be placed right here in the middle. 2 blocks on each side, you're going to have these Wyvern, well, whatever tier crafting injectors. In my case, I have Wyvern. You may have the standard Draconium tier, crafters. So how are you actually going to place this? Now I have these placed where it's like it has this 1 block gap in the middle on each of these sides, and this way allows me to actually get the uses of out of all of these 8 slots. The next thing to note, if say let's move this canteen out, you can watch and you can see that right here on the right, on this like near where my hand is, you can see that it has this particular mode. It would be best to always set them to single item mode. For instance, if we place the standard one over here, you can see it's basically placing on stack mode. And if I click and put in our Draconium crafting injectors over there, it will place all that we had in that I had in my hand right on top of this, which is not what you want, because again, let's say for instance I wanted to put the diamonds, which that we need in order to upgrade our each of our injectors, it would have placed all 16 there instead of just giving us the 4 that we actually need. So let me just pick this back up, and to basically change the mode, you just shift click with your hands empty and you'll basically change the mode. Let me pick that. Now let's start setting this up. So you're going to need 1 Draconium block, 2 Draconium cores like so, 1 Wyvern core, and then on this side you're going to put the 4 diamonds that you need to get. And in the middle here in our fusion crafting core, all you have to do is just put any one of your any tier or of your Draconium. And right here in the middle, all you gotta do is put your Draconium fusion crafting injector, hit craft. It'll extract the energy that it needs from our cables in the back. It does a really cool animation, I won't lie. And this once Draconium tier crafting injector is going to become a Wyvern tier 1. Ta-da! So now we have a Wyvern tier injector. So I'm gonna go quickly and basically do this again. So I've already went ahead and set these up. Again, we have, you know, the 2-block gap in between each side for each of our injectors. And well, now we have 12 Wyvern tier injectors. Now in the first you know, building the Wyvern tier, we won't actually be using all 12, but we'll be, you know, we have that if we choose to go all the way up to Draconic tier and so forth. So now we're actually going, let's utilize this to craft something besides, you know, an injector. Let's actually start crafting a chest piece. Again, I already have the sword and the bow, so the chest piece is the only natural that we actually craft this chest piece. So let's see what we need for this chest piece. Yes, I already have the stuff in my inventory, I am aware of that. So we're going to need the Draconium core, 2 Draconium ingots, a Wyvern energy controller, which again seems simple enough for us to make. Where was the chest piece again? Right. 2 basic energy relay crystals, also somewhat relatively easy for you to make. So let's actually start putting these things in, shall we? Let's put the diamond chest plate in there. Let's put this, that, oh. Give me it back. All right. So 1, another one over there. And each of these crystals. And let's craft the chest piece, shall we? So it's going to do the same thing, you know, that it did before with this old cool animation and loud sound effect. And then do this really nice cool animation here. And once that's done, okay, we're going to get the chest piece, which looks cool. But for us to do anything with this chest piece, as you can, if we highlight over it, you see it's going to require this energy module to function. So what is this energy module? It's right here in Draconic Evolution, actually. And it's going to require some redstone, some iron, a module core, which isn't that bad to produce, and some, you know, more blocks of redstone. So what about, oh, there's a Wyvern tier. Okay, let's see. That requires 2 of that, a Draconium core, 1 Draconium core and a bunch of Draconium ingots. So these are things that we don't necessarily need to teach, well, need to get the resources down here for our Wyvern tier injectors, but it's something that we can teach our refined storage system. So guess what? I already did teach it. So if we go over to Wyvern, we can see we can craft this Wyvern energy module. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. So let's craft that. Now let's look at some of these other upgrades. So there's a speed upgrade, which I believe you can actually put on the chest piece. There's a damage one, which seems interesting, but in order to make the damage one, fortunately, we're going to need potion of strength, 2 potions of strength, which is okay. So that's the standard damage module. What about the Wyvern damage module is going to need, oh, that's going to need the strength too. So that means we're going to have to get into potion brewing, which is something that I'll do in the next episode. But right now it actually wants, you know, get the basic operation of our stuff. AoE, there's quite a good bit of different upgrades that you can actually put into your weapons, and I'll explain how that happens in a little bit. Let's see what we need for the shield one. Oh, we can't make the standard, you know, Wyvern shield capacity one. And what's this one? Large shield module. Ooh, have to make that. Okay, let's actually teach our system how to do this. So it's going to need the Wyvern capacity module, which we should be able to do like that. And then for the large capacity one, going to do this. So let's put that in there. How many pieces do I have of? Okay, we have a few pieces, but I may need to teach our system how to break down and get that. Where do I have my Draconic? I have Draconic in one of these crafters. Ah, here it is. Okay, so let me see if I can make this. See if I can make this. Oh, yes. Seems like we can. Where is my energy module? Didn't I make one? Okay, crafted this. Craft this. Could have sworn I told it to craft that. Or is it processing something? Okay. Cancel that. Let's switch back. For some reason it was stuck. We may have to... Why are you sticking? Start. You have the things that you need. Okay, for some reason it was stuck. Not sure why. Okay, so now we have our Wyvern energy module and our Wyvern shield capacity module. So now that we have these things, right, we're going to go onto our Wyvern chest piece, and there's a specific button that you can set in order to access each of your Wyvern tier, or each of your Draconic tier stuff. I have that set to my right shift, but you may have to, you know, tinker around with it. So let's go add this energy module in. So now it's going to start charging up, which is good. Now, the reason why it's actually charging up is because it's taking power from my suit, which is, if you can see right here where I'm pointing in the, I know it's a little bit dark, but you can see the suit's slowly but surely losing power. That's because it's charging up this chest piece. Now let's see if we can put this chest module in. Okay, it's a 2x2. Okay. And the good thing about this chest piece is it doesn't need to be on your chest. Like, we don't need to take off our mecha bodysuit's armor. We can, you know, literally just put it in the curio slot, and you can see it's actually going up. So let me access this back again. Wait a minute. Oh. Shield capacity. Okay. So what was it to actually get, you know, shield? Oh, maybe I needed to build this. A shield control module. And that's only at Wyvern tier, isn't it? Yeah. And that requires you to use a dragon heart, which means... Oh, what's this? Okay, that's simple. So that requires us to use a dragon heart. Okay, let's actually craft that, just to see if that is what is actually stopping us from, you know... Oh, missing some things. I just went and did the same thing again, didn't I? Yep, I need to craft this additional block. That's what I need to do. Let's click. Okay, so there's there's that. Let's make this. And let's try inserting this now to see if we get ourselves... Oh, wrong place. Oh, okay, so it is there now. So we do have that. Let's see something. Click on this. Let's put this here. What else do we need? So that's shield control module, and this is for shield capacity. Is there a recharge? Ah, recovery. Okay, so there is one. Okay, let's craft this now, shall we? If you can't tell, this is the first time that I've actually ever played with Draconic, so it's kind of a massive learning for me. Wrong thing. Go back into this, and let's put this in there. Ooh, yes, it's going up. But why are you not charging? Let's see. My suit's not dead. Let's put you back in my hotbar so we can see this. Let's go over here and let's stand on this and actually... Oh. Fully... Okay, yeah. That instantly filled it up. That's good. Let's put that there. And now our shield is actually going to go up. Okay, so can I make... not the Undying. We currently have this Wyvern tier 1, if I'm not mistaken. And to make the Draconic tier 1, we're going to need this Awakened Draconium Ingots, which we just so we can get from this Awakened block. And to get this block, you can either use these ingots, or you can actually craft it using the Dragon Heart. Okay. Now, I don't think I used my Dragon Heart, so that means I'm going to have to go kill the dragon once more, but that shouldn't be too hard of a task. Real quick too, I did do some upgrades for my sword, but I think is this a sword? Yeah, for the sword I only put in basically the energy modules in order for them to actually be functionable, but that means that we need to also eventually work on getting some of these upgrades, like that attack damage damage module. But in order to get the damage module again, we need this potion of strength. So in the next episode, what I may do is set up some of these potion brewers in order to get this potion of strength, because if I'm not mistaken, we can use this potion brewer in order to make some of these potions. So I think that's exactly what we're going to have to do in order to get these damage modules up, for us to actually start utilizing these things, because currently this is weaker than my Supremium sword, which has almost 24 attack. This has 8.75 attack, which isn't good. But it's, I think it's stronger than the bow that I have, so I'll probably get rid of this bow. Okay, so just a recap of what we actually did today. Today we got more, well, a lot covered in terms of Draconic. Maybe not a lot. We went over the crafting, the injectors, and upgraded them to Wyvern tier. I know I had 8 already crafted, so now we're at 12 with the with our Wyvern tier injectors. We also saw the way that we're actually going to be able to upgrade these to Draconic tier crafters, but I may not do that. I may not rush to do that, but I would like to actually get some of these things working for our weapons that we have already, because they're not really living up to the expectations so far. But we also found a way for us to actually utilize not only our essence with these crafters, but to also craft some of these things. Also, we got a much better way actually to get these nether stars than actually having to go kill our wither over and over and over, which by itself, it doesn't sound too hard, especially if you have it configured like I have right here, where you can just literally put the wither builder right here, the wither will spawn, and then a mob crusher in the back there would kill it. But that would require you having access to quite a good bit of wither skulls and soul sand, which, nah, that ain't gonna cut it. The seeds is definitely the better way to go in order to get the wither star essence. And yeah, and that's exactly what we're gonna do also for our, what is it, this awakened ingots, which, yes, I could have sworn I saw there was a seed for this. I could have sworn that. Let me just clear this. I know there's a seed for this. Why can't I just see the seed though? Nevertheless, I know there's a seed for that. So eventually I'm actually also going to craft a seed for that. So this way we will have a seed for our nether star, a seed for our draconium, and a seed for our unawakened, whatever it's called, I forget right now. So thank you all for watching and take care. I'll see you in the next episode when we dive more into some of the upgrades that we have for our draconic. Oh, what's going on? Why do we look so? Ooh, we look okay. We actually look kind of invisible. That's kind of cool. But I'll see you guys in the next episode once I've, okay, let's fix our view. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode where we will be actually diving more into some of these upgrades, setting up some of the things that we need for it, such as the potion brewer, so where we can actually start to utilize some of these things. Okay, so thank you all for watching and take care. Bye-bye now.